Hey guys, today we're going to be taking the SR20 engine and gearbox out of the Sylvia here, and we're going to be replacing it with a new motor. So just going to take the car out, spin it around, chuck it up on some stands, and then start draining all the fluids and rip the motor out. The 85 problems. Third time's the charm. The last time the SR runs in this car. Okay, so I jacked the car up, put it on ramps on the front and then on stands at the rear, and then started out, just drain the gearbox fluid. I like to start out with the hardest things first, so do the gearbox first, the exhaust, and the gearbox cross member, the drive shaft. So that's all off now. So it's just resting on the jack so it doesn't drop down too much. Now I'm just draining the engine oil. So that's all draining. So once the engine oil is done, I'll rip off all the front end, drain the coolant, take the radiator out. Then I'm going to remove the front rad support just so that I can pull the engine straight out. So after I pull that out, I have plenty of room and start pulling off the harness and any other little hoses and stuff, power steering, that sort of thing, and then pull the whole lot out. Should be pretty easy. Alrighty, so the engine oil is drained, coolant's drained, radiator's out, power steering is drained. Just started taking all the intercooler piping and stuff off and all the vac hoses. So now I pretty much just have to take the wiring harness off and a few little things like fuel lines, and out she comes. Now the rad support, having a bit more of a look at it, and I can either take it off here at the join, but then that includes all this down here which I got to cut, or I can just simply cut it here or here, so pretty much right at this join here, and then I can put some flat plate underneath it and bolt it back together. So I'll probably end up just cutting it right at that join there, and then it'll make it a lot easier to come out. Okay, so all the wiring harness and everything's disconnected, front bumper and intercooler and everything is out. The wiring harness is unclipped from the rad support, so I'm just going to chop along here and along here, and then I'll weld a plate or bolt a plate in to bolt it back in afterwards. That'll make it the engine coming out, especially when the LS goes in. It's going to be a lot easier. Alrighty, so the engine's all out now. Relatively easy to pull out with the front rad support out. If you don't have that out, you got to pull the bonnet off to go high enough and all sorts of angles, and whereas with this you just go up and straight out pretty much. So pretty easy. So now the engine's out, I'm going to have to obviously take the old harness out and do a lot of cleaning up. I got to take the front subframe out as well, the K-frame, because I'm getting a sort of conversion one for the LS. So they make like conversion subframes. So it's a lot easier, you don't have to change the starter motor or anything. So this is the engine. Excuse the mess. So I just lifted it out with chains, pretty easy. One set around the number 2 and 3 runner of the exhaust, and then 2 and 3 of the intake. And out she comes. So now I'm going to split these. I've sold the gearbox as a complete conversion, so with the adapter bell housing, the gearbox, the shifter, the cross member and the drive shaft, and then I've sold the engine as a complete assembly as well. So that money will fund the LS one, and plus a little bit more for extra stuff I'm going to need for it. So I'm going to need like radiator and all sorts of different bits, wiring and all sorts of stuff. So hopefully all this funds the LS, because LSs are cheap. Sweet.